Hey everyone, I'd just like to start this video by saying that the next review is in fact finished. I'm sorry you're getting this update instead, but there has been a lot going on this year that's been affecting uploads. The reason it's not up to date like I'd originally planned is primarily because it took longer to get done than I expected. Safe to say, it's definitely the most ambitious project I've taken on so far this year, and I know you'll enjoy it once it's up. Even though it's done, it wasn't finished in time to meet the deadline for early access to those on Patreon, so rather than having to shaft them that bonus they've pledged for, delaying the upload by a week means that it's ready ahead of schedule. Yes, that is the logic I'm using for this, but it also gives me an extra week to catch my breath and regroup a bit, mow the lawn, do some R&R, all that good shit. I mentioned in an update video a few months back that things might be a little messy this year due to various implications, the main one being my mental health. Getting on top of that has been a very slow process and will continue to shit me through the rest of this year most likely. If you saw my behind the scenes coverage of the Legends of WrestleMania episode, then you're aware that March was a pretty bad month for me. I've spent the entire year just trying to get back into the normal high work rate swing of things people expect from this channel, and it just wasn't happening. Then March came along and ruined what little progress I'd made completely. Along with all this, I had to cancel a super huge review series for April and May due to running out of time, good weather, and again, my mental health. I've still got plans to release it in the future. At this stage, it'll start 2019 off with a bang. But because this epic 2-month plan had to be shelved, I was kind of left out in no man's land feeling sorry for myself and had to come up with a plan B. I needed something quick and easy I could whip up that people would also enjoy, so Croc seemed like the best choice. So here we are a few weeks later, and even though I've made it super difficult and time consuming for myself, that extra workload has actually helped clean up the mental health quite a bit. If I've got something to sink my teeth into, generally I'm pretty alright. Even though I'm still very prone to meltdowns and have had them during the production of next week's Croc episode, progress has still been fairly solid. I'm now finally feeling like I might be on top of 2018, and I've started feeling inspired again, which is awesome. Up until now, I just felt kind of lost, and I feel like the content uploaded so far this year reflects that. I struggled to get a Thomas the Tank Engine review out, for Christ's sake. The start of April especially, I hit rock bottom again and did a lot of stupid, regrettable shit, but I think once that started to show its ugly head publicly in content and elsewhere, it helped me to realise how bad I'd gotten and start to work on fixing things. And now here I am absolutely killing it like I know I can. So please, I ask for your ongoing patience moving forward if reviews and bigger videos are further delayed. If you get a testing episode in place of a review, it just means I'm working extra hard on what you guys love to see. Speaking of testing, I've been really happy with that this year. If there was one thing I could change about 2017, even though it was a whopper year, it would be that there was a testing episode or even some other video every week or every other week consistently. The reason that didn't happen was simply because there was nothing else to talk about beyond reviews and top 10s, so I focused on that. Over Christmas, I actually stockpiled a heap of gear so that I'd have loads of stuff for testing, so much so that I kind of trapped myself into a corner to get it all done. Despite what people might think about those videos being filler or whatever, I do enjoy making that type of content, and I'd argue some of the best things I've ever produced have been testing episodes. If you skipped the recent Xbox 360 Connect episode, then you skipped a new winner for the best motion control catastrophe video ever, on this channel anyway. The problem with all this extra testing and myself being so focused on having these 2 videos a week, I struggled to find any time for myself. I burnt myself out and a lot of times actually lost sight of my primary bread and butter, being reviews and list videos. That shouldn't have happened and I'm sorry it did. I get really bad, what I call tunnel vision. I get so focused on one thing that I forget everything else. I even purchased for super cheap this large box of PS2 games and had planned on testing a lot of them for videos, giving the channel a testing episode every week for the rest of this year. But because a lot of you have kindly sent games in as donations, I kept pushing it back and pushing it back. I've had it for 2 months now and haven't even touched it yet. I don't even remember what 120 of the 125 games are anymore. So on that note, here is the new plan for testing. No testing through until June 8th. My birthday! I'm turning 22, whoop whoop! I've got an idea of how to take a massive chunk out of this box. From that point on, I think I'll split the box in half. Keep the best looking stuff for testing and test the rest of it in my own time. It's a lot more efficient that way. Of the half I keep for content, I'll just drop the videos as I please. You might get one per week for a month, you might get one per month, you might even get multiples in the same week depending on what time I have to get them done. If I could afford to pay someone, I'd gladly hand off the editing duties of testing content to literally buy myself some extra time, but that's just not realistic for the channel at this stage, unfortunately. So it's up to me to juggle it. Now that I've realised and remembered that reviews are the priority, you'll get testing episodes when you get them. For the people who've been sending stuff in, thank you. I will try my best to include that in testing episodes as well. However, I'll be picking and choosing a bit more. I have to. If I try to test absolutely everything, then I'll never get anything else done. The final thing I'd like to go over real quick is the future of the channel through 2018. At this stage, I think it's safe to say I'll be doing this full time through the rest of this year, despite everything else going on. This keeps me sane, and most of the people who know me personally agree that's the most important thing. Do in life what keeps you sane. And I mean, fuck, I've got it on recommendation from various doctors that I should keep making videos for the sake of good mental health, so to the naysayers and people who call me a fool for keeping on with this, take that and fair fucking shove it, mate. Of course, the arse end of 2018 is going to be packed. The Reignited trilogy, which I will be covering like 2 weeks before Tony Hawktober, for fuck's sake, really set myself up there. But then also a potential third major series review coming up right after that in October and maybe November. I don't know how I'm going to manage all of this stuff, but I do like a challenge. Because of Spyro, Hawktober will need to be completed earlier than last year, meaning production on that will be starting late June, playing the games. July and August will be preparing scripts and shooting. I'll need all 5 videos edited and ready for upload before the middle of September. So during that time frame, if you only get one review or only one top 10 in the space of a month, that's why. I'll be working hard behind the scenes. Up until like a week ago, I didn't even know what I was doing for the special this year, but now I'm ready to begin production on some totally rad videos. While I'm working on that in the background, the content you get might be, like I said, extra testing episodes, but I'm also tossing up the idea of a different review format just for that time. Nothing crazy, more analytical if anything, but I'm not so sure yet. We'll just have to wait and see. But if you don't want to wait, you can head on over to the Patreon page right now and pledge to get weekly updates on how production is going, listen to the monthly podcast with Cal and myself that'll be up later this week, having a chat about Infinity War and answering patron questions as always. And for a $5 every month, you can also get early access to all of my videos a few days before they go live on YouTube. The Croc 2 review will be available tomorrow, super early because I fucking delayed it. But if that sounds like something you're interested in, do consider pledging because it directly feeds back into the channel and helps me keep this thing above water. I'll link a free post you can see right now with some photos of an upcoming review. Right now, Patreon money is going towards props and costume items for the Croc series review, as well as equipment, games, hardware and software all required for this year's Tony Hawktober special. So, thank you to everyone who's already signed up, thank you to everyone who's sent mail in, thank you to everyone who's been watching, commenting, liking and sharing, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a great fucking day. Cheers, guys.